The following briefing is classified H for heretical. It is for authorized personnel only, and if disclosed to any unauthorized personnel, they are to be executed on the spot, as well as those guilty of leaking the briefing. Thank you. Now let us begin. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am the Spore, and I am here to give you a quick briefing on a little overview of something, and as a matter of fact, today we are going to answer one of the most important questions there is to answer when it comes to the world of Warhammer 40k and Age of Sigmar. And that is, what is chaos and what does it do? Now let's get started. Now, here's a brief summary of what we're going to go over today. Please take a moment to understand it. Alright, so what is chaos in Warhammer 40k? At 40k, it is the raw force of power. It's what makes up the warp, which is a psychic dimension that runs parallel to real space and reality, also known as the Empyrean, as well as the Immaterium. When we reference the warp, sometimes we will say real space is also the material realm. It's mostly fueled by the emotions and the souls of all sentient beings that exist throughout the galaxy and the universe as a whole. Now, in Age of Sigmar, it is what we call the dark mirror of the soul. It exists due to the flawed nature of all mortals that exist in the mortal realms. In Warhammer 40k, we call it the Warp, and Age of Sigmar, we call it the Realm of Chaos. I believe they also reference it as the Warp sometimes too, but I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Now, this is also where all the deities exist within their own little pocket realms, and they have their own little places where they live and sleep and breathe and whatever. And I can say one thing. Both the Warp and the Realm of Chaos are not a place for mortals to be there at all. In most cases, when you find a mortal who has managed to make their way into the Realm of Chaos, they're usually not going to have a good time, and it's usually going to end with them being, tortured, dead, or eternally damned, or some other type of interesting thing. It's not pretty, trust me on that. The Warp and the Realm of Chaos is filled with a lot of endless entities and chaos gods. There's a lot of minor gods, 4 major gods, and you name it, there's plenty of entities for all sorts of different reasons or things that exist in there. And they are all made from the emotions of mortals and all sentient beings. They have different names, and sometimes they're called the Ruinous Powers, sometimes they're called the Dark Gods. There's plenty of other names out there as well. They each represent the different emotions, ideals, and elements that make them up, and they are all-consuming and incomprehensible and exist to pervert all order. The thing is, the mortal mind cannot truly comprehend what the thoughts and the workings of a chaos god or a warp entity are. They don't exist within the same way that humans or anyone else mortal does. They seek to hold dominion over all real space, all the mortal realms, whatever. They want to rule it all, and they don't like it when they can't get their way. And, as always, they each have their own servants and demons that work with them and work for them. Now, let us go on. First of the 4 is Khorne.
Blood for the blood god, blood for the blood god.
The sacred number of Khorne is number 8. He is the blood god, the skull throne guy. He is the god of blood, warfare, glory, and combat on the battlefield. He represents everything from honor to martial prowess, Most of all, he loves blood. Because
he does not care from whence the blood flows, only that it flows!
Khorne's realm is mostly made up of like fire and endless battlefields and constant war. Within the realm, he sits on a brass throne that sits on top of a mountain of skulls. And usually those that worship Khorne are seeking glory and power through warfare and combat. They look for brute strength, because that's what Khorne rewards, is brute strength. He hates subtlety. He doesn't want you to run towards him and stab someone in the back. He wants you right in the face. That's what he likes. Right in the face. And then we have Slaanesh. Now, Slaanesh's sacred number is 6. He, she, it is the god of lust, excess, perfection, and hedonism. Desire, pleasure, all the fun stuff, you know, sex, drugs, rock and roll. But the truth is that Slaanesh is not really all about that. She's also known as She Who Thirsts by a certain elven-like race in Warhammer 40k. Now, those that worship Slaanesh are usually seeking for perfection or their own personal desires. You see, a person like an artist, a musician, would come to Slaanesh seeking to be better at their craft, better at what they do, such as learning to play their musical instrument better, learning to wield the paintbrush better than anyone else that exists in the mortal plane. And they do encompass combat, so this could also mean wanting to be a perfect swordsman, kind of like a particular fellow named Lucius the Eternal, which we'll talk about eventually. And Slaanesh, I gotta say, she, he, it, them, they, these, her, they love those Eldari elven souls. They are the tastiest, the crunchiest, and by far the sweetest of the bunch. Then we have Tzeench, whose sacred number is 9. That's right, we have mighty number 9 right here.
Mighty number 9? It's better than nothing.
He's the god of magic, cunning, vitality, knowledge, and change. He rewards the strong in mind, much like Khorne rewards the strength in the battlefield and brute force. Tzeench is all about the cunning and the planning and the strategy. Those that worship Tzeench are usually seeking knowledge and the magical power. They're usually seeking political office. They're schemers and thinkers. They're always figuring things out. Which Tzeench himself is always thinking and always scheming, to the point where even he doesn't even know what the hell he's going to have for lunch every day. And then we go to our next, and most importantly, my former namesake, Nurgle, which is sacred number 7. He is the chaos god of death, disease, anguish, and decay. He's also known as the Grandfather. He's kind of like, he's just gross and disgusting and bloated and yeah, he stinks. Those who worship Nurgle are actually seeking escape from pain. They want to accomplish immortality because they don't want to die. They want to escape the grip of what death can do. He's known to be the most jolly of the 4. He loves all of his followers so much that he blesses you with eternal stench, bloated masses, maggots, worms, diseases, and all sorts of other fun things. One who takes on the mark of Nurgle is blessed to never have to shower and bathe again, nor wear deodorant. Kind of like being at a real game store sometimes. Which brings me on to our next point, which is the great game. The 4 always fight and always bicker with each other and are always just at each other's throats constantly. And here's the thing about the 4. If you invited these fools to an outing like at a bar, they would be in a fight in a minute the second Khorne drank too much. That's just how they are. No god can be more dominant than the others. So to maintain this balance, sometimes they will even work together to make sure one of the others is getting a little too big for their britches. You know, Tzeench might have come up with a crazy plan, and it's getting him a lot of power. The other three are like, yo. Your ass needs to chill. So, the three will work together to bring that guy down just a little bit by 1 or 2 pegs, or several hundred. You see, they also have their own preferred nemesis with each other. Khorne hates Slaanesh. Tzeench hates Nurgle. Khorne hates Slaanesh because, well, Khorne likes to just get the kill over with quick and fun and make sure it's as bloody as possible. Slaanesh, on the other hand, enjoys playing with his food a little bit more. And Tzeench, well, he's all about change and constant movement. And Nurgle, he's a lazy son of a bitch and he likes to sit on his ass. He's all about stagnation and not moving forward. You get the reason why everybody doesn't get along, but sometimes they can find common ground. Sometimes. And finally, that brings us to Chaos Undivided. If one is seeking not the favor of one, but all 4 of the gods, then you get what's called Worship of Chaos Undivided. It is the worship of all the Chaos gods in its entirety. Just pure chaos. You don't give a shit which one you get the favor of, as long as you get the favor of 1 or 2 of them, or maybe all of them. And I'll tell you one thing, to get the favor of all 4 of the gods is a great feat and an accomplishment, because you gotta do some crazy stuff, some wild things to get, their attention. I mean, it's just a reality. Picture over here, we have Abaddon the Despoiler and Archaon the Everchosen, who, they're pretty up there. But you see, though, the thing is, they don't really worship chaos. These 2 guys kind of see chaos as more of like a tool to be utilized. But they're still slaves to the gods no matter what. So in conclusion, chaos is a constant threat to all mortals. They can give you many great powers, but there is, as we've discussed, some drawbacks, you might say. The worship of chaos is also forbidden, and in the Imperium of Man, it is punishable by death. I must also reiterate, innocence proves nothing. That's the motto of the Inquisition, my friends. So, with all that said, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me at Twitter at the name listed here. Below in the description is a link to the Discord. Come on and hang out and talk to all of us fun, wonderful, crazy people. And if you really are into horror, subscribe to Innocence Unknown. The link is also in the description. That is my horror channel, where I do narrations as well as other urban legend videos and fun stuff. With that all said, if you have any questions about chaos, or need to correct me, feel free. Or if you got things to add to this, feel free as well. I hope you liked it. You all have a good one. And as always, see ya.